station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
I'm ready for the event.
ACR, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Houston ACR. How do you hear me?
I have you loud and clear. How me?
Loud and clear. Thank you. Please stand by for opening remarks.
Hello, I'm Kelly Poindexter, chair of the Link STEM Ready program and a chemical engineer. Today, we're connecting with astronauts at the International Space Station, including our Link sister, astronaut Jeanette Epps. Please welcome co-chair Dr. Mamie Parker.
As a marine and wildlife biologist, I'm so thrilled to welcome you. Connecting with astronauts in space, how cool is that? Here is the first question.
Hi, my name is Armia Crutchfield. What is the most spectacular view you have seen in space?
Well, currently on the station, we have a window called the cupola, and you can look out that window anytime and you could see the Earth. And I thought that was the coolest thing that I had ever seen until we saw the eclipse from the space station. And what we saw from the space station was a shadow moving across the Earth's surface. And it was spectacular. So that has probably been the most spectacular thing I've seen since being here. But every day, looking out the window is a pretty amazing day.
My name is Jalen Travis. My question is, how often do you speak with your family while on the space station?
Well, with today's technology, I talk to my family every day. So we have software that allows us to see and talk to our family just about any time. We can even use Teams to have a Teams meeting with my family. So they can actually call me through Teams. So we have constant contact with our family members. So being here isn't so bad. We have our family nearby. We can chat with them just about any time.
Hi, my name is Frank, and the question I have for you today is, does the space station orbit in a circular motion, and if not, why?
Well, we are in essentially a circular orbit. So that's the answer to the question. We have almost an eccentricity of 1. So our circular orbit is the most efficient for us at this time.
Hi, my name is Zayla, and my question is, how much time per day do the astronauts spend on research and experiments?
Well, that's a good question, because some days we don't spend any time. We spend time taking care of the space station, which is actually a big floating laboratory. So sometimes we have folks go outside and they conduct spacewalks to fix the space station. Sometimes they go out to set up an experiment. But on the inside of the space station, same thing. Sometimes we're setting up experiments. Sometimes we're taking care of the space station. And we would spend probably 6 to 6.5 hours a day doing that.
Hi, my name is Allure, and my question to you is, how do you sleep in space? Do you lie down or do you float without being tethered?
That's another great question. Well, we have our crew quarters, which is our single room. We each have our own room, and we have a sleeping bag in there, and the sleeping bag is tethered to the wall. So we sleep inside our sleeping bag, which is tethered to the wall, and we float in our sleeping bag. And we have crew members that are doing work currently.
Hi, my name is Abdi, and the question I have for you is, what is your favorite space food?
Oh, that's a great question. We have stuff that just about any kind of food that you can think of. We have my favorite happens to be this cashew chicken curry. That's one of my favorites. But I also like to have just peanut butter. Peanut butter on the type of bread we have is we have a wheat bread. We put it on the bread. We can make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if we want. So, daily I have different things. Yesterday I had honey ginger fish, which is very good. but my favorite still is the cashew chicken curry.
Hi, my name is Darius, and my question is, how many spacewalks are planned and what is the duration for each?
That's a great question. We have about 3 spacewalk planned in the month of June, and each one, the time can vary. It can even go up to over 7 hours if needed. So every time someone goes out, we plan for 6 hours, but really the suits can go up to 7.5 hours. So we'll see how long they go.
Hi, my name is Hezekiah Harris, and when the astronauts are on the space station, what is the protocol to prepare for a spacewalk?
So on Earth, we practice spacewalks using a giant pool to simulate micro-G. So the pool is about 100 feet long, 200 feet long, 100 feet wide, and 40 feet deep. And that's because in water you can practice being buoyant, neutrally buoyant, that is. And so in space, we exercise every day to get ready to go outside, but just being in space and learning how your body adapts to weightlessness will help you when you're in the suit. But exercise every day is one way. Preparing the suits and understanding the operations, like reading the procedures, looking at the tools, practicing using them. So there's a lot of things that go into preparing. We have to charge the batteries. We have to get the suits cleaned, the suits sized. And there's several other things that we need to do on the road leading up to an EVA.
Hi, my name is Austin, and my question is, how many hours per day do you spend in the gym while in space?
Well, that we exercise because, that's one of the countermeasures that we use for bone loss and muscle loss, so that when we return to Earth, some people actually return with virtually no bone loss or muscle loss. There's always some, though. And so we spend about 2.5 hours every day exercising, either doing some cardio for about 30 to 40 minutes, and either the stationary bike or the treadmill. But we all use the ARED. It's an advanced resistive exercise device that can simulate weightlifting. We can do squats, deadlifts. We can do Romanian deadlifts. We can do mainly the exercises that load the major bones in your body. We can even do upper body work on the ARED is what we call it.
Hello, my name is Peggy Carr, and my question is, what new traditions do astronauts have in space, or what old traditions do astronauts keep in space?
Well, each crew seems to have their own special traditions. We haven't figured out ours yet, but, we still have time. We've got about 3.5 months to go. But, one of the things that we did when we boarded was that, and we had to take our crew photo together, we all got out our crew notebooks, and each crew member signed it. And that way we know who we flew with when we look back later. Everyone who signs our crew notebooks are the people that we've flown with, and that's one of the traditions that I love.
Hi, my name is Damani Gray. What are some of the psychological exercises or strategies used by astronauts to help cope with the challenges experienced during long-duration space missions?
Well, we don't really have exercises that we do. We do track our cognition throughout the flight. Like, you could have several things going on and your cognition can go down. So, and we don't really understand how an astronaut's cognition changes during flight and why. And so we do more cognition tests rather than psychological tests at this time. But, most astronauts are, you're selected and your demeanor is part of that selection. How adaptable are you? How flexible are you? How do you deal with stress? How do you cope with things happening? And so your life is will be, in some cases, indicative of that. Like if you've been to a war zone or if you've served in the military and different things like that, that can be an indication of how you deal with stress, how you deal with difficult times. So we don't really do psychological exercises here at this time.
is Lark Smith. My question for you is, how are lights and other utilities powered at the International Space Station?
Well, that's a great question. We have, if you take a look at a photo of the International Space Station, you'll see these giant kind of brown orange looking panels. Those are our solar arrays. We have 8 primary solar arrays that produce a lot of power to power all the equipment that you see behind me and all the wires. But we also have a new smaller arrays that are new generation that are a little bit more efficient, that each produce about 20 kilowatts of energy. So in total, once we get everything up and running, we'll be able to produce about 215,000 kilowatts. 215 kilowatts of energy. So that's a lot of energy. So the solar array wings, it tracks the sun, and it turns the sun's energy into electricity for us so that we can use it on board to power everything that you see.
Hi, my name is Kamora Lee Williams, and do you need as much sleep while in space, and how do you regulate the amount of sleep you get each day?
Well, sleep varies for everyone. And so in general, like for me, when I first arrived, my body was really changing, and it's still changing to a certain extent. But that change is like, little kids. You see how little kids can eat a lot and they play a lot and then they sleep. They sleep really soundly, especially during the times where their bodies are changing. And that's what I think was happening with me. Early on, I slept as many hours a day as I could once I got my work done. But now, I kind of feel like I've been here about a little over 2.5 months, and I feel like we're kind of adapted, and I sleep regularly. Sometimes, like even on Earth, you don't sleep as well. You may have exercise too close to sleep, and it keeps you awake at night. So different reasons, my sleep changes. But the space environment has not really changed that much after I've adapted. And now I'm in a regular sleep pattern.
Hi, my name is Mariah, and my question for you is, what time is it on the space station, and is there a separate time zone for space?
That's a great question. A separate time zone. We actually don't have a separate time zone. We follow the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT time. It's the same time in London as it is on the space station right now. So that's a great question.
Hello, my name is Josiah Walston, and my question is, how do you keep the specimens resulting from the tests and experiments viable during the duration of the expedition?
Well, Josiah, by specimens, it depends on what you mean by specimens. If we have live animal specimens, we keep them alive the same way we would on Earth. You have to feed them, give them water every day. They have a little area they can actually play in if that's necessary. Just little things like that, especially for small specimens that we have. Other than that, I'm not sure the other types of specimens you may refer to, but the animal specimens, they're kept very well and healthy. And then they return back to Earth healthy, and the experiment is ended once they land on Earth.
Hi, my name is Kennedy Henry, and my question is, how does weightlessness affect feelings of fatigue and endurance?
Well, weightlessness, what initially happens, your body has to adapt to the environment. So, like I was saying earlier, as my body was adapting, I felt fatigued. And so I get all my work done in a day, and by the end of the day, I could feel the fatigue, and I would sleep probably, here I probably have slept 8 hours straight, 9 hours almost, and that's unusual for me. So now that I'm adapted, I sleep kind of like the regular hours that I did when I was on Earth. And so feelings of fatigue and endurance. So endurance is another thing. With all the exercising that we do, we can extend our endurance through our exercise. Doing cardio and then weightlifting every day will help with that.
Hi, My name is Braylon, and my question is, how does NASA decide which experiments and research will be conducted by the space station crew?
Well, there's several ways that they do that. I mean, we work with our international partners to figure out all the experiments that people want to conduct, and then from that slew of research that, say, our colleagues in Japan want to conduct, or over with the European Space Agency, or even Canada. So figuring out that, there's a group of people that go through all the experiments and see if they're even viable to conduct in space. Conducting research in space is very different than conducting it on Earth. There's a lot of similarities, don't get me wrong, but when you develop an experiment for space, there's several things that have to be considered. Like, for example, how do you package the experiment? If there's fluid involved, how will the fluid behave in space in order to conduct the experiment? And then just having items that are tethered to the table so that they don't float away. So when you package everything together, you have to consider these things. And so when experiments are presented, there's a lot of factors that go into selecting experiments that can be conducted successfully on the space station.
Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Washington, and today was nothing short of amazing. Chatting with astronauts in space, mind-blowing, right? Before we close, I want to thank those brilliant students from all over the country who participated, and for the leaders, Ms. Poindexter and Dr. Parker, and their phenomenal teams. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, ladies. Thank you for everything that you're doing for the students.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes our event.
Thank you. Thank you to all the participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communication.